You gotta love Florida. Beautiful day 1 minute, next minute monsoon.
What's up guys, welcome back. So today's gonna be kind of cool. I'm excited to start the exterior of the car. We need to claybar it. I typically, for years and years, have always used regular clay. This is Mother's, yes, claybar. Always use this, always had great results out of it. They do tend to deteriorate fairly quickly, but it's got the job done for years and I haven't thought about doing it any differently. But I recently picked up this Griot Garage synthetic clay, so I want to try that today. I want to give it a whirl. It doesn't feel like anything like clay does, so I'm excited to try it and see what it does. I'll probably use the hood as like an example. I want to do one side with the clay and one side with this, and just see if I can tell a difference. Don't know if I will or not. I doubt it's going to be super scientific with how we're going to compare these two, but hopefully I can tell a difference, or at least see something of a difference between the two. I normally would use the clay with the soap that I washed the car with. So I'd wash the car, use the soap, get the panel wet, and then use this. And this, I picked up the Griot Speed Shine. They recommended using this along with this. So we'll try the Speed Shine, synthetic clay, soap, actual clay, and see what we can do. I'm actually quite excited about this. This bar is new. This part, I tore it off of this piece, but this is new here. So I'm actually pretty excited to see this. It says it is equal to 8 traditional clay bars, this little thing here. So we will see, because like I said, these tended to deteriorate fairly fast, but they worked great. So we'll see what happens. But before we get into the clay, I need to wash it real quick. I sprayed it off in the last video, but that was just a quick little spray. I want to wash it and get it like super clean and get all the contaminants off of there, and then we can put the clay on there. Okay, got it all cleaned up. Now we'll get a part of it dry and we will use the synthetic clay. We'll spray the Speed Shine on there, use that for lube, use the synthetic clay, and see how it goes. A little different process than what I'm used to doing, but let's give it a whirl. Okay, trunk lid is dry. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but can you hear that? It sounds pretty gritty. The paint is very rough, so that's a good indicator. I always try to do this just to see what it's like to start with, and this is like a very fine grit sandpaper. It's pretty bad actually. So let's get the clay in. Okay, so you can clearly see which one I used. I went to the little dot there where the wiper used to be.
This is obviously the soapy side you saw. This is the speed wax side. Let's see. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but oh wow, that is much different. That is super slick. I don't know. Honestly, feels about the same actually. I think I'm gonna try to do the whole car with the synthetic clay. I like how it's working so far. I know what the old clay feels like, and I know what it does, so I think I'm gonna try the whole car with the synthetic clay and then see how it goes from there. But so far I'm liking it. I've also decided to not dry it first. I'm just gonna keep it wet and then just spray the wax on there and use it like that. I don't think it'll matter. It's still gonna be lubricated, so. Check this out. So on the hood, I'm using the synthetic clay, and you can audibly hear it taking away the whatever it is on the hood and the paint. And when it gets a little more silent, that's when you know you're good to go. Okay, so I hope that you can hear it, but try to get you real close here. Hear that? How it gets kind of like quieter? It's just taking it off. Very cool. You gotta love Florida. Beautiful day 1 minute, next minute monsoon. Well, we're back in the garage though. Let me get some lights set up or see if this storm will pass, and we'll see what we can do. Alright, so the rain kind of cut us short last time. It's the next day. It's super sunny now, but we got it pretty much taken care of before it rained. I do have some pros and cons that I want to go over about this thing because I was really surprised by it. And so let's jump into that and I will explain my thoughts. Before we get into my list, at the beginning of the video we rubbed the paint and it felt kind of like sandpaper. Let's do it now after the process and it's dried and all that good stuff. And listen to that. Nothing. Maybe you can hear my hand itself rubbing against the paint, but nothing like it was before. So nice. So now let's get into my thoughts, should you care. Alright, pros and cons. First pro, it worked surprisingly well. Super easy, very little effort, very awesome. Number two, you don't have to worry about hot spots when you're using clay. If you hit a hot spot or a dry spot, the clay could like get stuck on it and it leaves a little bit of clay on the car and you gotta go back and kind of go over it a little bit. That's gone. Number three, kind of associated with the last one, but the clay is not gonna catch like your badges, corners of the car, like edges and stuff like that and get stuck on there. I think that's a plus, so I put that on there as well. Number four, you can drop this and just spray it off. You're pretty much fucked if you drop the clay. I know that has a lot of variables tied into it, but you drop the clay, the dirt and grimy whatever you're on gets stuck to it. I wouldn't want to be grinding it across the paint. So with this, that's all gone as well. You just spray it off and you're good to go. Number five, there was almost no wear whatsoever on the pad, which is rad. It says you can do 24 cars. I don't know, I did one, but based on what I saw on the pad, There was little wear whatsoever. Comparing that to clay, I think it's a pro. And finally, it fits really well on the hand. It's super nice to grab a hold of. It's got like a little divot in there, so you can like have that in there. Very easy to hold. But I do have a con about that, so let's get into those. Before we get to the cons, just look at the paint now. I was looking at it here talking a minute ago, and it just looks like a mirror. Granted, there's still some swirls and scratches and whatnot that we're going to have to get out with the buffer, but man, with just the synthetic clay, that looks so much better. Alright, to the cons. Okay, the only con that I could think of with this is it's a little large, and it's round. Now, it's great for large panels, the roof, hood, trunk lids, doors, all that works great. But for sports cars such as this one, there are a lot of tight corners and edges and things, and I wish they had maybe like a square one or like a rectangle one. That would be awesome. I feel like it would be super helpful if it was square or rectangle, because a couple times I found myself having to like squeeze the pad and like use my finger to like push into some areas. So square, rectangle, a little bit smaller would be able to get into some of the edges and corners. If I had one suggestion, and my opinion matters at all, I would do like a kit. Have the original one, and then have like a larger rectangle one, and then a smaller rectangle one, something like that. That way you have options for different panels on the car, different uses. I think that would be super handy, especially for cars like this. But besides that, I really don't have any complaints about this thing. It's not that clay is bad. I just think that the ease of use and how long it lasts, I think I'll be using this from here on out. But yeah. And with all that being said, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it very much. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and hopefully it may have helped you out a little bit. If I did in any way, be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. And don't forget to do all the other YouTube stuff down there. You guys know how it goes. I know that like 55% of you watching are not subscribed. Let's try to change that. I am almost to 100 subs, and once I get there, I do have a contest coming up where you can win some cool stuff from Cerakote, where I did the headlight video a while back. They sent me some things to be able to give out to you guys. So whenever we get there, I'll do a contest, and maybe you can win some cool stuff. But again, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.